Hello and welcome to McIver's Grant Public Library's first video for Not One Damsel in Distress. I'm so excited about this series, which is going to, it comes off of Miss Jane Yolen's book that says Not One Damsel in Distress, Heroic Girls from World Folklore. This has illustrations by Susan Guerva, and I think this little piece of Miss Yolen's letter to her daughter and granddaughters will kind of let you know what this series is all about. This book is for you. It's for you because I never had this book when I was growing up. In those days, I played in New York City's Central Park with my brother Steve and my best friend Diane. We acted out our own version of Camelot. I was always King Arthur or Merlin or sometimes Lancelot because I'd never heard of Bradamante or Guinevere, and Guinevere was no fun at all, just kissing and sneaking around. Or we played at Sherwood Forest, and I was Robin Hood because Maid Marian wasn't much of an archer. This book is for you because for the longest time I didn't know that girls could be heroes too. Not heroines, not sheroes, a word Maya Angelou made up. Because heroines and sheroes sound like lesser or minor heroes, just as poetess or authoress or aviatrix sounds as though they're not as good as their male counterparts. This book is for you because in it are folk tales about regular, sword-wielding, spear-throwing, villain-stomping, rescuer-type heroes who are also just happen to be female. About women who use weapons or their wits or a combination of both to get away from danger or disaster. Stories that range from the medieval armored knight Bradamante to the magic-wielding African Nana Miriam. From the Jewish pirate princess to the serpent-slaying daughter of a Japanese samurai. So these are heroic girls from world folklore. We are going to start with Nana Miriam. This is a story out of Niger, and Niger is located right there on the map. That's where that story comes from. It says, in a village where only men are warriors, the greatest warrior is a young woman. Once in a small village by the great river Niger, there lived a man named Faramaka and his daughter, Nana Miriam. Now, Faramaka was a tall man, tall as a tree. He had arms as strong as tree limbs, legs as thick as roots, and he was ugly, very ugly. His daughter, Nana Miriam, was tall and strong like her father, but as ugly as he was, she was that beautiful and smart, very smart. Faramaka was proud of his tall, strong, beautiful, smart daughter, and he taught her all he knew. He taught her the names of the things, perch and tigerfish in the river, acacia and doom palm trees, and the growing herbs on the land. He taught her the names and the uses of all things. Nana Miriam learned everything from her father taught her, and she learned one thing more, for she had magic powers that no one knew about. But she did not tell anyone of these powers, for it was said by her people, he who boasts too much can do little. Now at that time which we are talking about, not now or then, but somewhere in between, a great hippopotamus lived in the Niger. But it was no ordinary hippopotamus. It was a monster with an insatiable hunger, and every time the rice crop, the main food of the Songhay people, was ready to be harvested, the monster hippopotamus rose up out of the river Niger, water raining off its gigantic back. It waddled onto the land and devoured the entire crop. Time after time, season after season, the monster ranged up the river and down, devouring rice for miles. And at last this caused a famine in the land. The village warriors went out with their spears, sharpened and ready to hunt the monster, but they could do nothing against it, for it was a shapeshifter as well. Whenever a spear was thrown at the hippopotamus's broadside, the animal changed, sometimes into a crocodile or a manatee. Once it even became a 200-pound perch and swam quickly away. Faramaka went out to hunt the beast, carrying 7 spears. When he found the monster at last, the beast opened its great mouth and roared. There were pots of fire hanging around its gigantic neck. Faramaka's knees trembled, but still he threw his spears at the monster one by one. And each time the spears were destroyed by the pots of fire, bursting into flame like shooting stars. The monster roared again, as if laughing at Faramaka before turning its back and going on to the next field of rice. What could Faramaka do? He went to Kara DG Mayo Fossafasi, a member of the neighborhood Tama people who had a reputation for hunting nearly as great as his own. "Will you hunt this beast with me?" asked Faramaka. Karadijo Mayo Fossafasi agreed. "I will bring along my 120 hunting dogs." "That is good," said Faramaka, though the 120 hunting dogs made him nervous, for each had an iron chain around its neck and teeth that were pointed and eyes that shone in the dark. So Faramaka and Karadijo Mayo Fasifasa went out on the trail of the monster with 120 hunting dogs. It was not a difficult trail to find, for the giant hippopotamus left a path of destruction wherever it went. Soon they came upon the monster, and the dogs were turned loose, one by one. Their chains rattled as they ran, and they gnashed their pointed teeth, and they bayed at the hippopotamus, who turned lazily to meet them. The monster saw the dogs and just laughed. "Do you people who live on the Niger not say that the rat cannot call the cat to account?" And with that, one by one, the monster hippopotamus grabbed up each dog, turned it around, and swallowed it whole, starting with the tail. When the last dog was devoured, the monster turned its back on Faramaka and Karadijo Mayo Fasifasi and waddled back to the rice field, where it consumed the last of the crop. Faramaka and Karadijo Mayo Fasifasi ran off in terror, and they ran all the way back to Faramaka's house. There, trembling, they told Nana Miriam what had happened. "Well," said Nana Miriam, standing up, "it is time for me to see this monster for myself." Faramaka trembled. "Daughter, you are strong and you are wise, but no hunter's spear can touch that thing. No hunter's dog can fight it. Do not go." Karadijo Mayo Fasifasi agreed. "You are but a female," he said. "Listen to your father. Do we not say ashes fly back in the face of him who throws them? This is too dangerous a thing for a mere girl." But Nana Miriam would not be persuaded. She went forth anyway, a spear in one hand and her juju bag filled with charms in the other. It was not long before she came upon the monster, who was devouring yet another rice field on the banks of the river. When the hippopotamus saw her, he stopped eating and turned. It smiled a broad hippopotamus smile, showing strong hippopotamus teeth. Girl, I know why you are here. You wish to stop me." "That I do," said Nana Miriam. "But do you not know that no human being can kill me?" said the hippopotamus. "All the hunters in your village have tried. Your father, Faramaka, has tried. Even Karadijo Mayo Fasifasi and his 120 dogs have tried. What makes you think a mere girl can stop me?" Nana Miriam put the spear down and held the juju bag up. "We will not know the answer of that until we engage in battle. I am ready if you are, monster." The monster smiled again, and this time it gave more than a mere hippopotamus smile. "I am ready, girl." The shout was full of flames, which set the rice field afire. Soon a wall of fire sprang up between the monster and Nana Miriam. Nana Miriam reached into her juju bag and pulled out a magic powder. She flung the powder on the fire, and at once the flames turned to water, which rained down upon the field. "That was too easy, monster," she said. "Ah," shouted the hippopotamus, "what will you do with this, then, girl?" And at its shout, a wall of iron appeared between them. Nana Miriam reached back into the juju bag, and this time she took out a small magic hammer that grew and grew into a great magic. One blow, then another. Nana Miriam pounded the hammer against the iron wall, and in a matter of minutes the wall was broken into small pieces by the force of her blows. "Do you have something more?" cried Nana Miriam, "or is that all?" For the first time the hippopotamus monster looked nervous. Lines of worry appeared on his broad brow. Perspiration flowed freely down his face. It turned from Nana Miriam and shifted its shape, becoming a river that flowed swiftly toward the Niger. But Nana Miriam was ready. Once more she reached into her juju bag and took out a magic lotion and sprayed it over the monster river. In a twinkling the river dried up only inches away from the Niger, and the monster turned once again into a hippopotamus. At this very moment Faramaka appeared, worried about his dear daughter. Karadijo Mayo Fasifasi was by his side. When the monster saw the two men, it forgot about the mere girl who was bothering it and charged at them, passing right by Nana Miriam. Nana Miriam reached out, grabbed the hind leg of the hippopotamus, and picked the monster up. Twirling it 3 times around her head, remember, she was very strong, she threw the monster across the Niger, which was, as luck would have it, not flooded at the time. The monster smashed into a cliff of rocks on the other shore. Its skull cracked wide open, and so the rocks killed it. It was not killed by a human being. Faramaka held out his arms, and Nana Miriam ran into them. "What a wonderful daughter I have," he said. "What a wonderful papa I have," said Nana Miriam. When they returned to the village, their story preceded them, for Kara, Dijo, Mayo, Fossy had reported all that he had seen. There was singing and dancing and feasting as well. And from that time to this, no Songhai have starved because of a monster hippopotamus. And from that day to this, the minstrels and storytellers have sung and told about Nana Miriam, who showed all the power of a mere girl. And there's a picture right there of Nana Miriam throwing the hippopotamus. I love that nobody thought a mere girl could do it. And there she went. And she went with her father's blessing, and I just love the love that was in that family as well. So today in your craft kit, you have some colored rice. And you have 2 pieces of paper. One looks kind of like a shield. It says, "I'm a warrior." And then one is a hippopotamus. So you can use your rice. You'll have glue, not glue sticks. You'll have regular glue and a pipette, and you'll have some toothpicks so you can arrange them. And I have started this. It's a very, very particular, tedious. I don't want to say tedious because it sounds bad. It has a negative. But it takes a while. It's a lot like adult coloring. It calms you down as you move the rice around on your picture. And as you can see, it's starting to fill up, and you can really see that every piece of rice is making a beautiful mosaic. You can pick any colors that you want. You'll have red, yellow, green, and blue rice, and you can put them in any order that you want. And you can do as much or as little rice as you'd like. If you'd like to leave some blank, you can. It's completely up to you. The thing that I want you to remember is that up here where it says, "I am a warrior," that is you. That is you. And this hippopotamus that everybody thought was too big for a mere girl, it can be anything. It can be anything that challenges you. You can beat that hippopotamus, can't you? Because you're a warrior and you have girl power. So we will do another Not One Damsel in Distress video in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today, and we'll have another activity kit available here at the library. You can get that by coming in and getting in the bin in front of our summer reading display, or you can ask for it through curbside service. We'll be happy to take it out to you. You have a wonderful day, and remember, girls rule.